Hello everybody. So, as usual with the snake code improvisation, nothing is prepared in advance, so you will see what happened. So I will share my screen. So last time we draw the nuggets in the game, but we don't have any collision, so we'll work on it today. Detect the nugget collision, and when you eat the nugget, it will extend the snake. If you remember, the snake will eventually be reskinned for Easter as a rabbit. So sometime I might mix snake and a rabbit and nugget and eggs that we will eat. But bear with me. So let's jump into it. The nugget collision. First thing we will do, we will run the main and remind ourselves of what it looks like. So we have our snake head right now that has no tail, and we can go through the nuggets like this, but there's no collision, nothing happens. So it's I guess the most important part of the game is to be able to eat the nuggets. So let's see what we can do. Um, how can we model this? The idea, it's time to go to the whiteboard when it's not obvious. Okay, so the only thing that matters for the nuggets is when the snake head eats it. If if the tail of the snake is on the nugget for some reason, because maybe the nugget reappeared under the tail, it should not be eaten. So only the head should eat it, and it should eat it when it's right on top of it. So as soon as you get on it, the nugget will disappear and will be placed elsewhere at random. So we can start by this. So just eat the nuggets and make them reappear somewhere. And the second part will be to add the tail of the snake like this. So let's see how we can do this. So test game. Okay, we already have a game update. So what we'll check is that when we update, um, so this is like before the update, it will be like this, and after the update, it will look like this because the head of the snake went down, and the nugget should have disappeared and appeared elsewhere. You're with me? So the two things that we need to test is that the egg, the nugget is at the next place. Yeah, that's the only thing. So let's see what we can do here. Um, Test that we can place a nugget at a random place. Now the test will be similar at first, but it's test when snake eats nugget, then nugget um, spawns elsewhere. Okay, so remember we add a stub for the position generator, so we can tell it to return the position that we want. So that is what we will use to say where the next nugget will be. So first, we'll place a nugget somewhere we know, like this. So this is still in the game setup. So we place a nugget at 510. And if the... and we'll have a snake here, remember? So it's y plus 1 from the egg. And it's going down, so orientation will be down. So the snake, how did we do it? Initialize the snake. No, we don't want to initialize it. Actually, yes, we do. So we need to initialize the snake and then set its orientation like this. So we have the game that initialize snake, game that snake that set position, set orientation down. That's good. And we want to make sure that the position of the snake if the position is we said okay, let's place it because I see the size is 10, so the nugget, let's say the nugget is at 5.5 and we have a snake at 5.6, so it's one more in Y and the orientation is down. So that's not it. We want to do a game that update. So here, the update, we expect that the snake will go down, eat the nugget, and the nugget will be elsewhere. So let's get the nugget and make sure that it's somewhere else, like 2.4, for example. Or to be easier to follow, we'll make it 1.1, 1.2, and 2.2. So it's the nugget starts at 1.1, finishes at 2.2, and that's the snake. It doesn't really matter for now. So after everything, we expect the nugget to be at 2.2. And that's it. That's for our test. Obviously, it should fail. Let's make sure of it. It fails because in the end, the position in X is 2, but we expected 1. Oh no, I mean, we expect it to be 2, and it's still at 1, so it's still here. That's what we will change in the game update right now. So after all the moving stuff, so let's extract this to a method called move snake forward. After we move the snake forward, we want to check for collision or something like that. So let's code it here and then we'll extract it to a method. So if the snake that position is equal to the nugget position, forgot the self here. So if the snake position is equal to the nugget position, what do? We will place the nugget, and that's it for now. Let's extract this to how should we call it? Something about nugget collision, like check for nugget collision, something like this. Check nugget collisions. Yeah, sounds like a good name. So we check for nugget collision. If there's a collision, what do? We self that nugget. Is that what I wrote? It's yeah, self that place nugget. Okay, does it pass? Some random test fails. What's going on here? Non-type object has no attribute position. Okay, so in this case, it's the nugget. I think the nugget is still not initialized. So let's have a guard class here. If the nugget, if not nugget, so that means if the nugget doesn't exist, we'll just return do nothing. There's nothing to do. It's impossible to have a collision if there's no nugget. So everything passes but our new test. And it says that the nugget position in X is 1, but we're expecting 2. So initially, we place the nugget at this position, and when we do a game update, maybe it did not see the collision. Let's see what's up. With a breakpoint, we'll jump into the update here. So we first move the snake forward. So now we expect the snake to be at 1, 1. Let's just make sure of that. Self that snake. It's looking down and it's at 1, 1. That's nice. Check for nugget collision here. Okay, so the nugget exists, so it's here. Now the snake position is 1, 1, and the nugget position is also 1, 1. So it should get in, and you see it didn't get into this. So I think what happened is it's checking if it's the same object. You see the reference here is different for the nugget and the snake. Did we see it? So that's for the snake. It was 06E644C0 and 06E647C0. So it's 2 different objects, and the equal doesn't work. This will be a new test called test position. and we'll just make sure that it's possible to compare two different positions. Test position, test equality. So when positions are equal, then equality is true. Nah, it's too long for nothing. Or when positions are equal, test why is it so hard to find good names in programming? That's the hardest challenge for me every day. When positions equal, then equality is, well, it's ugly. Let's rename it after. So we have, let's call it A and B. Position 3, 4. Why 3, 4? 1, 2. Let's keep it simple. B is the same thing. Import it, and we'll assert that A is equal to B. Obviously, it's not working, so it should fail. Test position here is failing because they are not equal. There's probably a smart way to do it in Python. Equality comparison. Comparison. I have no idea what this means. Equality versus identity. I have no idea, so we'll look at it. We can get confused between the difference between equality and identity. Yeah, that's my case. I introduce a logic error in my code. I don't know if I'm an experienced programmer. I'll let you decide. Equality. Equality is that we're asking Python if two variables contain the same thing. Okay. That's our case. Like list1 and list2 are two different objects, but they are equal. And identity, if I understand correctly, identity is because it's two different objects, so they don't have the same identity. Like if you change the first one, the second one won't also be changed. Anyway, that's how I see it. Now, how do you define in Python how to check for equality? Test for equality in Python. Hey boy, that's a complicated function for nothing. Okay, let's try it. there's a magic function equal like this. It sounds like something that would work. So we have an equal other. Okay, so if self.x is not equal to other.x, return false. If self.y is not other.y, return false. Otherwise, return true. See, so I think that's it. It should work magically. Yes, even the nugget eating works. Do you think it will also work in their real application? Let's have a look. Yes, it's working perfectly. So you see, I'm gonna go eat that nugget. Yes, that feels good. Okay, I'm not gonna play for hours in front of you. I'll spare you the pain. So let's make a commit if everything looks fine here. Actually, let's make it bigger for you, because I think it might be hard to read, right? Let's zoom it a little bit like this. Okay, what changed in game is that when we update, yeah, so we extracted this method, move snake forward, but the logic doesn't change. So you move the snake, check for collision. If there's no nugget, it's impossible to have a collision. If the position is the same, we place a nugget somewhere else. Position, it's now possible to check for equality. Test game. When snake eats nugget, then nugget spawns elsewhere. So we create a game, we create a snake right in front of the nugget, and we eat the nugget. I would also add a case for if there's no collision, like do nothing, some null test like this, because it could be easy to add an error if we're not careful, like in the future. For example, if we remove this, so that I think the test will still work. Oops, pytest and snake. Yes, I see. I changed the code and the tests are still passing. So it means we're not fully covered. So let's keep it broken for now. We'll write the test and come back to it. So when we eat a nugget, then the nugget spawns elsewhere. When snake doesn't eat nugget, then nugget doesn't move. So we have a snake that is way off, like here and here, and we expect the nugget to be at the same place. Actually, I think we don't even need the position generator. Let's run the test first, make it pass. So you see here, it's failing and it's good because we expect 1 and it's 2, so we reproduce the bug. put it back. So it was already correct, but it's good to be fully covered for the future. So you see that it's passing. Okay, I think this can be none, and it will still work. Let's have a try. Indeed. So let's just simplify like this. Like the snake orientation, we don't even care about it. Does it still pass? Yes. The snake position, that's important because we have to make sure it's not the same as the nugget. Alright. And we can even refactor it to be like this. Because now we know that the equality works. It should still pass. Let's do the same thing here. So it's now 2, 2. There's a lot of it. So this will be 5, 10 for the nugget position. 5, 10 is equal to the nugget position. 5, 10 again. That's the just orientation stuff. Okay, now it's the snake, that is 6, 5. Snake is 6, 5. Gain that snake. 4, 5. 5, 6. Oops, didn't see. 5, 4. Excellent. So all the tests are passing. That's great. Oh, I didn't change them all. The snake is at 5, 5. See, it simplifies a lot of tests. This feels good. Let's see if we have anywhere an assert and something about the position dot something. Regex. Assert equal something like this. No, so we never have something like assert that 5 is equal to blah blah. Oop. Need a dot escape a dot. Right. Well, it's all right. So it all passes. Yeah, you see the position here. That actually that's not what I want to look at. The test position, we want to test the negative here. Oops. So let's just call it test equality and test inequality. So 1, 2, 3, 4. See here, we can even simplify it like this. Position 1, 2. We expect it to not be equal to 3, 4. Okay, if it does not work, I'll be very surprised. Okay, it works. Let's add some spaces. Excellent. Some other edge cases is when one value is the same but not the other one. So let's have let's make them 1, 1. We'll have 1, 2, and 1, 2 like this. Should all be false. Excellent. And only when both of them are equal does it work. That's nice. So what do we have for commit? We have the game that can now move the snake and check for collision, move the nugget, we check for equality, we check when you eat and when you don't eat the nugget, and check for the position stuff. Perfect. Let's commit. So respawn nuggets when eaten. Is that a good message for you? Respawn nugget when eaten. I like it. So now, as promised, the second part of this. Let's see, how long have we been running? Oh, 30 minutes. Alright, the next part will be in the next video. So let's do a git push. I'll see you there for the next part where we will here make the second part here. Eating nugget extends the tail. So see you there, and I hope you will be ready.